All right, put it live. Make sure our audio's off. Give me 1 second.
I see you in 3D. The dawn is bright for me. No more dark for me. I know you're watching me.
Ooh, what's up, YouTube? This your guy Hector, aka host of the Morning Brew, and I'm chilling with the one and only, the birthday boy, Mr. Pete Seminary. Happy birthday, viejo!
How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? I'm doing good. I'm so excited, Hector. First of all, I'm excited to see you. Second of all, I'm excited to be feeling a little better.
First of all, for all of us here, you know, that one, are friends of yours, two, that watches the show, watch you and follow you, we are happy that you are back because we've missed you. I know in the Yankees universe, you have been missed. The other day when you had All Rise, you know, I was having a show. Somebody came in, my guy TC Stills, like, Peter's over there dropping bombs. I had to pause my interview, go into the chat, like, I'm hearing Pete's dropping bombs. I need to show up.
Oh, man. Yeah, man, I had to come back, man. The Yankees right now, it's funny because, and we're going to get into all this, so thank you to everybody that's here, guys. You already know the dealio. Please do me a favor. Thank you for the birthday message. I'm going to get out the way. Thank you for the birthday message. I appreciate it. Just another day for Big Daddy over here, okay? Just another day for Big Daddy. Just got back from the restaurant with the daughter. She filled me up. I am destroyed right now. I could barely move. I'm in a wheelchair right now, if you guys don't know. You can't see the whole thing. I'm in a wheelchair. I couldn't leave.
He had the lunch of like every school kid cafeteria meal. My man had
Yes.
pizza. My man had ice cream. What else? You had some cannolis too? What else you had?
No,
Pete?
I didn't. That's later tonight. So I'm trying to figure out, like, how do I release this to even fit some more? But I'm going to figure it out. So the good thing about me with my skin tone, I could look like a bowl of mozzarella, and it's all right. It's no big deal. You know what I mean? I can
As
roll
long
down
as
the
it's
street.
fresh mozzarella. As long as it's fresh mozzarella from Spring
I'm
Street,
hot,
baby.
too. So, you know, I'm a little, it's like the nice wet mozzarella. It's ready to go.
If I can, I want to give a shout out to the chat. Everyone who's in the chat. Mr. Brad Jewish is in the building. Hirsch is in the building. Frankie Baseball's in the building. Unclone Capone is in the building. Our guy Anthony Medina is in the building. Anthony, how you doing?
I know.
My Rod Thompson is in the building. Rod, what it do, my guy? And guys, you guys can tell I'm not at home. I'm in Tampa right now, so I had to crash my guy Phil Porto's studio in order to do this with my guy Pete. I couldn't cancel another episode. So shout out to my guy Phil for holding it down. He also gave me some fancy whiskey that I was telling you about backstage. So I may be a little slurred over.
I was about to say, man, my man Hector boy lit. My man Hector boy lit.
Nah, but in all seriousness, Pete, it is good to see you back. It's good to see that you're healthy. You know, you're working your way back to being 100%, but it's good to have you back, brother. Honestly, we've missed you.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, we're not saying that too much about Aaron Hicks, but, you know, we're happy that I'm back. So.
right out the gate.
I'm like Mike Tyson right now. I'm throwing haymakers, baby. I'm ready to rock and roll.
You know, when we over here having these conversations about Aaron Hicks, we got to have the conversations.
Yes, facts. But no, man, I'm very happy to be back. And like I was saying before we get into the first topic, which, by the way, is going to be the WBC, and I'm very excited to talk about this because there's a lot of very, very weird comments going on about the WBC in the world.
Very weird.
Very, very weird. Very odd. And I want to get into that, but this is just to start because, of course, we're a Yankee show. 1, 2, I do want to shout out Phil. If you guys do not watch Knicks Morning Brew, if you're a basketball fan, I don't know what in the world you guys are doing. You guys have, like, the greatest guest in the world every week. Every time I see it, I, like, look the person up. I'm like, man, look at these damn guys over here. They got, like, the Knicks on lock. There ain't a better Knicks show.
Appreciate that.
I'm just saying there can't be. I'm asking you. I'm like, there's not a better Knicks show out there.
Well, we try to do what we can over at the Knicks Morning Brew and the Yanks Morning Brew, but we did have Dexter Henry, who covers the Knicks with SNY. Real good guy, real good conversation. He did put out there that he would have one of us on during the season to talk either Yankees or Knicks. So watch out. One of us may be popping up on SNY, but also as well, shout out to our guy over at MLB Network, Scott Braun, and the work that he's doing with the Foul Territory. They just started that show 2 weeks ago, and you literally had Aaron Boone this week on talking about Anthony Volpe.
Unfortunately, Aaron Boone felt the need to serenade the crowd a little bit with his version of Umbrella. I'll get to that maybe later. Hopefully, we're not going to talk about that. But
we'll talk about that a little bit. Aaron Boone, when it comes to Yankees and like singing, leave it to me, right? If you're going to leave it to sing it to anyone, leave it to me in these chords.
You gotta leave it to Hector. It's that simple. So, Hector, I say we get right into it. What do you think?
Let's go. Let's
get right into it. Here we go, guys. First topic of the day, our man Edwin Diaz. And I say our man because, look, I'm going to tell you why I say our man. I know fans are going to sit there and go, Pete, he's a Met. I don't want to hear it. Nah, this man represented his country. And there is no better thing to do than to represent your country. And I'm going to be hard on this one today. I'm sorry, Hector. I got to be hard on this one today.
Go ahead, bro.
Edwin Diaz did nothing wrong. Anybody saying that Edwin Diaz put something over his club, you're wrong. Hector Diaz represented Puerto Rico like a man. He shut down the Dominican Republic, which every Puerto Rican or Dominican wanted to do. Everybody, look, the fiance's Dominican. I know. I've been around Dominicans my entire life, been around Puerto Ricans my entire life, grew up with them. It's a rivalry.
Yes.
Respect is there, but it's a rivalry. My man put his PR on, and he won. He closed it out. He got hurt in a freak accident.
Yes.
Now cats want to take away people playing for their country because they got pride. Unfortunately, America, we don't have pride. I'm sorry to tell you, but don't take it out on Latin America and Japan. Facts. Because they have pride in their country and they want to support and play for their country. Come on, stop it. It's ridiculous.
Facts. And you said it, and I'm gonna piggyback what you just said at the end of it, because you said we have pride in the Latin American countries. It's not
Big
us
time.
fault when it comes to America and some people not having pride for their country. But the same people that want American players or just Americans to have pride for their country are the same bozos that are coming out and saying this was a meaningless game. This game didn't mean anything.
I agree.
What are they doing? If you want to have the conversation of moving the World Baseball Classic from right before spring training to the end of the season, we can have that conversation.
Yeah.
Those are two separate different things. But when you say it's meaningless, it doesn't mean anything to you. It's meaningless to you. But for us, like you said, Pete, I'm a proud Boricua. You've heard me a bunch of times say, I'm proud to be from the island. I'm proud that my family is from Utuado, de la Isla, right? I'm super proud. If I had the opportunity to be out there playing from Puerto Rico, I would have been out there playing for Puerto Rico, right? But like you said, it was a freak injury that happened to Edwin Diaz. He didn't throw a pitch and his knee blew out on him. No, he was literally and he wasn't even celebrating that much. He was literally just hopping around. He hopped around 3 times and his knee gave out on him. So that goes to show you that there was something already lingering, right? There was something already there. So if it didn't happen during the World Baseball Classic, it would have happened in spring, or would have happened. Do we stop spring training because Max Muncy got injured in spring training? No more spring training for the rest of forever? No. You just deal with it.
Let me tell you something, man. I watched that entire game, and if I was definitely up for it, I would have called it. I plan on calling America versus Venezuela on Saturday night. So I plan on calling that game tomorrow night for Game Season Live. But I tell you what, man, I really wish there was more people in America that just understood that people really love their country.
Yes.
And look, don't get me wrong. There's Americans like me that get it and that love their country. I love America. I'd represent America every day of my life. I represent America. I try to put American themes into certain things. I love this country. And there is nothing wrong for guys saying, hey, look, winning WBC to me is more important than winning the World Series. The they asked, I think, 8 of the Dominican players. I think 7 of them were like, WBC, we want to win this. You know what I mean? It's important. It's a very important thing. And on top of that, I got to bring this up because this is one of the things that people are forgetting about a lot. You know what's so cool about the WBC?
Robin.
We got to see Ohtani before he was Ohtani.
Yes.
We get to see Murakami before we might see him in the Bronx.
We get to see Roki before he's in the major leagues, bro.
Exactly. This makes no sense that people are sitting there trying to beat up this thing that baseball got right. All the things that baseball get wrong, we want to just roll with it. But one guy gets hurt in the WBC, and we want to tear the whole tournament apart.
It makes no sense to me, Pete. When you look at the ratings, right? The World Baseball Classic, the ratings are through the roof with the World Baseball Classic, right?
It's amazing.
Baseball is doing this out there to spread the game. If
Bro,
you're
look at the stadiums.
It's sold out. I was just about to get to sold out capacity. The music, the noisemakers that are. And have you ever watched a Major League Baseball game and you actually can hear the noisemakers? No,
it's
you hear them in the World Baseball
It's
Classic.
amazing.
Hopefully during the season they allow the noisemakers to be in the stadium because it adds a different atmosphere to it, bro.
Who wants to sit in a stadium that's quiet and every now and then, okay, who gives a poop? No, be loud.
Or you do a dumbass wave. You do a dumbass wave.
Look, here's for the Americans, for the Italian Americans. I want to talk to you right now. Because we had no issue when Rizzo and Gallo came to Yankee Stadium. And what did we ask for? Where's the Italian flags?
Bingo.
And they were there, and we took. That's called taking pride. But the one thing about Italians got pride. Italians got pride. We know that already. Italians got pride. But even Team Italy, I'm a big part. I love being a part of the Italian American Baseball Foundation. Those guys put in the work for Team Italy. Their whole stories on Instagram every day, support, going to Italy, being with the team, trying to put them up and bring them up. Those are that is how this thing should be going. And I tip my cap to guys like Mike Trout. Because Mike Trout could have came out and said, you know what? I need to be healthy. And I haven't put enough in to look to be healthy. But I want to go play for I'm the captain of America.
Facts.
And my man is putting that team on his back. It is an awesome, awesome event. Another reason why it's so awesome. The Detroit Tigers changed that kid from Nicaragua's life. Changed his life. These are things we're forgetting. You want to know why? Americans are spoiled.
Yes.
So we don't think about that. But that kid, who knows where he was? Who knows how much work he put in growing up to be able to throw a good fastball?
Look at the Czech Republic team. They had a guy strike out Ohtani that was an electrician. That was literally just an electrician running wires, doing the same thing I used to do before I got injured. And then he's out there striking Shohei Ohtani. The manager of the team, the starting pitcher of the team, the ace, he's a finance bro working in finance in the Czech Republic. If you look at Shohei Ohtani, before the World Baseball Classic, his Instagram followers was 1.3 million. That's what he had. Right now, he doubled that, if not past that, bro. He's over 3.5, almost close to 4 million Instagram followers from the World Baseball Classic alone. And like you said, it's country pride. And now you see it, Shohei Ohtani showing up in Miami with the Czech Republic hat, giving kudos and giving credit to the Czech Republic for what they did. Whoever thought that in the Czech Republic they play baseball? Did you know that, Pete?
No, not at all. And here's the other thing, too, that I want to bring up. Samantha, God bless you. Thank you so much for a happy birthday super chat. I appreciate it. Here's another thing I want to bring up.
Mm-hmm.
For the Americans out there, for any American that was complaining, and by all means, I'd seen other people complaining. I'm not just saying it's Americans, it's a lot of people, but Americans specifically. I heard this comment quite a bit. JC, thank you for the happy birthday super chat, brother. I appreciate you. I got to bring this up. America it's a game we created. It's an American ball game. Major League Baseball is an American ball game. Don't you feel a sense of pride, though, that it's worldwide, global? That should be something we're saying, yes, share it. I want this thing to be bigger. Blow it up. Make it as big as humanly possible. This game that was created in our country is changing people's lives every single day. I've been to Dominican Republic. I've seen how kids live on the street in Dominican Republic. The fact of the matter is, they have an opportunity to have a cardboard box made into a baseball glove, hitting rocks with their feet out on pebbles, hitting rocks. They have a chance. Exactly. They have a chance to have a sport that we created to change their life. And some of you want to complain about a player getting injured to cancel all that? Shut the fuck up.
Bingo. F-bomb is dropped. We are 15 minutes into the episode and there's one F-bomb that's dropped. I think this is a real record.
I'm sorry. It's my birthday.
If you had that, no, it's cool. It's it's your birthday, bro. If you had that on your bingo card, 15 minutes, Pete dropping the F-bomb, mark that off your bingo card. But no, Pete, I'm right there with you, right? When it comes to country pride, like a lot of guys, a lot of people, you may hate Tim Anderson for what happened this past season with Tim Anderson and Josh Donaldson. He could play ball. And you see him busting his ass for what team? Team America, for Team USA. The same guy that was...
Can I raise my hand on this one?
Go ahead,
I just want to raise my hand on this one. You know why? I've criticized him in the past. I've criticized him. But look at my new tweets. I saw this guy finally play baseball. My man Tim Anderson could have flat out said, "No, I'm not playing second base." Why? He said, "I'll play a position I never played before." And let me tell you something. Tim Anderson's a ball player. Yes. I don't care about how Tim Anderson thinks. I don't give a poot. He could say whatever he wants. That's the other beautiful thing about this country. He could say whatever he wants. He could do whatever he wants. Tim Anderson is a ball player. And he got a fan in me. That's simple. He got a fan in me.
Listen, and all of this is from the World Baseball Classic, seeing that they actually care and want to hustle. And you want to knock guys. The same sport that during the Major League season, right, all these prognosticators, all these big mouthpieces online on the radio, they always said these players don't hustle. They don't bust their ass. They don't do what you got to do. You can look to the World Baseball Classic and take that narrative, ball it up, and throw it out the window because they're busting their ass down the first base line.
That's right.
You want to say that, oh, this is just an expedition game that doesn't mean that much. You cost the Mets so much money. You're not paying the Mets. Right? You're not Steve Cohen. Steve Cohen, the World Baseball Classic, it gives insurance to these major league teams that if there is an injury to Edwin Diaz, Steve Cohen doesn't have to pay that money. Their insurance from the World Baseball Classic pays that money. And until Edwin Diaz is back, that's who's going to be paying the money, not Steve Cohen. So if you're Steve Cohen, you just, okay, I don't have to pay for what, 20, 30 million this year for Edwin Diaz? Cool. The luxury tax is decreased. So his luxury tax penalty is not the same because he doesn't have to pay it. The insurance does.
That's right. And the other thing is too, look, at the end of the day, the teams give them the option. The team could have flat out said, "Hey, look, Edwin, we really believe we need you here. You know what I mean? We need you here. We can't put you, we rather you be here in spring training with us." Just like the Yankees did. Look, another thing, and I brought this up when it happened because I understand what the WBC means to people. Nestor Cortez is Cuban. Cubans love America more than Americans love America.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, you don't find people that love this country more than Cubans. And the one thing about Nestor Cortez flat out said that. It is my dream to play in the WBC. That thing ain't till another 4 years.
Yeah.
You don't know what could happen in that time span. But Nestor Cortez said, my team asked me, and I understand, and I'm going to stay with my club. And of course, he had the injury. But whatever it was, injury, no, it doesn't matter. Your team could still ask you to not go. They got that option. But it is any idea. I think we had one more too on the WBC. I'm going to get that pulled up real quick. Then I'll get to these super chats.
Go ahead.
Ooh, got a big one from Medina. Love you,
Go
brother.
ahead.
Let me see what it is. We had this big one right here. Let's get to this WBC one right here. I can't really see that. It's a little far away from me, and my eyes are a little bad. If the WBC is a useless tournament, then why are the crowds, some of the games are just as passionate and electrifying as we see in the World Series? Because it means something. I don't know what, we already talked about that one. We know how much it means, man. So I honestly, my hands are up in the WBC. Everybody knows where I stand on it. I think it's where everybody should stand on it if you care about Major League Baseball. And I think most of us, and not all of us, do. That's all I got to say about it. I think Major League Baseball has done a fantastic job. We like to beat Major League Baseball up, don't we?
Yeah.
Major League Baseball has done an amazing job with the World Baseball Classic. I wish it's even bigger than it is. Yeah. And I hope it continued success. And I know how much it means to people, and I just hope that Americans can understand that. And I hope that tomorrow's game, we see as many American flags as we will Venezuela flags, which I guarantee you'll see.
Absolutely. And they're playing in Miami. Like right now, Miami is the central hub for Venezuelans that are escaping their country. Asylum seekers coming out of their country. They go right to Miami. They have that protected class over them. But like you said, when it comes down to it, baseball did something right. We want to kick baseball. Right. We always want to complain about baseball. Now, if you want to say, we should move the World Baseball Classic, we can have that conversation. I said, those are two separate things.
Yeah.
On the other side of it, if Aaron Judge was playing for Team USA, knock on wood, and he slid into a base and tore up his ankle and is going to be out for the whole season, would I be upset as a Yankee fan? Absolutely, I would be upset as a Yankee fan. But would I want to get rid of the World Baseball Classic? No, I wouldn't want to get rid of the World Baseball Classic. No. Yankee fans, we could point back to Mark Teixeira getting that wrist injury that literally ruined his career for the rest of his Yankee tenure during the World Baseball Classic. That happened. Do we want to get rid of the World Baseball Classic? No. You're not going to tell these guys wrap themselves around with Nerf, wrap themselves around with bubble wrap so they don't hurt themselves every day. Right. Pete, you walk out the house, you could stub your toe, you could get into a car accident. So should you not leave your house? Should you not drive a car?
Sammy Sosa went on the IL for sneezing. I mean, to sit there, you know what I mean? He went on the IL for sneezing. He pulled his back. I mean, there's times now I'm 34 years old. I wake up, I walk the wrong way. My leg breaks in half. I mean, what do you want me?
No,
I mean, it's insane. It's insane.
I wake up, I'll be waking up with my oblique and my hip all hurt and everything like that. Trust me, I get it. But for people to say or go out of there and say that it's meaningless games, like I'm gonna keep on saying, it's meaningless to you. It's not meaningless to me. It's not meaningless to the Dominicans that are watching, to the Venezuelans that are watching, to the Americans that actually care about someone representing their team. It's not meaningless to them. If you don't care about it, fine. Just walk away. Just say you don't care about it. Don't try to take the World Baseball Classic away. The only thing baseball has done right.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. My fiance would tell you, I watched that entire game, not feeling great. I was on my toes the whole game, screaming, rooting Dominican Republic on, screaming. Every American game, I watched every single pitch of it. I've been in my chats with the team and everything, talking about every pitch, every run. And again, I feel good now. Saturday, tomorrow, I'm going to be calling that game. That's an elimination game. That is a huge game. You know, American Venezuela. Venezuela has played amazing. America's finally look like they're playing as a team and getting things going. It's a statement game. I mean, we're getting to the last couple of games here. Japan looks unbeatable. So it's going to be very, very interesting.
And now for you baseball fans out there, people that have slept on Venezuela is looking like a powerhouse now when it comes to producing major league talent. I've slept on them as well. It was
they're the greatest
Dominican
catchers in the world, by the way, too.
And
They
so
developed the
Dominican-
best catchers in the
I
world.
would say Puerto Ricans developed the best catchers in the world. You don't want to get into that conversation.
Oh, no, I forgot the Molinas. I forgot about the Molinas. My
The
bad. My
Molinas.
bad. You're right. No, you're right. I give you your credit. You're right. You're right. I listen to the Guians too much. That's for you, Ozzy.
Yeah.
Ozzy and Ozzy Jr. That's for you guys. Always telling me the Dominicans have no catches. That's what it is. The Venezuelans. Okay. All right.
No, but when you
They're
look
rubbing
at it,
off
right?
on me. That's what it is.
For the past years, I could say, since I've been watching baseball, it's always been the Dominican Republic and
Facts.
Puerto Rico right behind them, and then
Yep.
enter whatever country you want to enter from Latin
Cuba
America.
will be like right there.
Exactly.
Cuba will be like right
Venezuela, they leapfrog Cuba, if you ask me. If you're going to ask
doubt.
me honestly, Venezuela leapfrog Cuba. And if it wasn't for PR advancing, I would say Venezuela has a better team than the Puerto Rican team. Honestly,
Yeah.
when you look at it, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing the talent that they have. And actually, Gleyber Torres actually looks like a baseball player playing for the Venezuela team. It's crazy.
That's what pride to do for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what pride does for you.
Build
That's
your
why I
trade
always-
value up and get traded away,
Correct.
Torres.
And we're probably going to talk about that a little later, but that's why I always say, having pride in even being a Yankee, it means
Yeah.
something. And the Yankees got to do a better job of pushing that onto their players, that it means something being here.
Yeah.
And, I think they maybe play a little differently. But let me get to these super chats,
Go
and
ahead,
then
go
we'll
ahead, bro.
move on. Anthony Medina, my brother, no doubt about it. Love you, bro, so much. Thank you for the big super chat, man. He says, Pete, not a Yankee comment. I just want to wish you a happy birthday, my friend. I am so glad I got to know you and love NYY News TV and will continue to be a loyal member and one of your consiglieres. Yes, sir. Have a great birthday and many more blessings to you, my friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Anthony Garcia with one of your happy birthday, Pete, my guy. Hope you have a great birthday, and I can't wait to meet everybody in a few weeks. Yeah, me either. It's coming up so quick, man.
It's
My
it's
God,
14,
2 weeks.
14 days away, bro.
2 weeks
14,
away,
13
bro.
days
We're already
away,
there.
bro.
That
If I
is
can, let me just
insane.
give a roll call real quick. My
Please,
God,
please.
Don Sicario's in the building. Sunil's in the building. My man Sunil D-Rod is in the building. I agree with you, Brad Jewis. He said PR, the Molinas, and Posada. Absolutely.
Posada's the GOAT. Love Posada.
I've been really amazed at the way that Yadier Molina has been able to transition literally seamlessly into that managerial role, like literally hands on.
Yep.
He needs to be a manager in baseball. Like he honestly needs to be a manager in baseball. Somewhere in baseball, somebody give that man Yadier Molina a job.
100%, man. And I've heard a lot of things too about the situation with Dominican Republic. I don't know. I know there's some big reporters from DR saying that there was a lot of trouble in their clubhouse. I don't know how accurate that is, but I know one of the guys is basically right up there with Hector Gomez in reporting news over there. He said there was almost 3 fights in the clubhouse, and a lot of players basically came out and said, "Hey, look, we're gonna leave. We're gonna leave the club." So maybe they didn't have that. Tony Pena was a good manager. Maybe they had to bring Tony Pena back again and say, "Hey, that's a man who deserves a job." I don't know how Tony Pena don't have a job in baseball.
Oh, bro, ridiculous.
That's a goat.
When Robinson Cano was on the Yankees, the person that kept him in line was Tony Pena and Larry Bowa.
That's
two
right.
guys that are both baseball minds, 2 guys that understand the game, and like I said, they can get the best out of the young players by keeping them on track, knowing how to speak to them. Look at what Bowa's doing with Philly.
Big facts, man. That's all it talks about. Samantha, we're going to go right into that right now, actually. Talking about Dominguez getting sent down. We're going to talk about,
yes.
We're going to transition over now into the New York Yankees and opening day approaching, like we said, 2 weeks away. Of course, guys, as you already know, the big news is following tonight's game. This was yesterday. The Yankees assigned outfielder Jason Dominguez to minor league camp. So Dominguez will not make the opening day roster. And by all means, even if we wanted him to, Hector, it was always going to be a long shot.
Yeah. Yeah, we understood, like, Jason Dominguez, no matter how great he was going to perform in spring training, that he wasn't going to crack the big league roster. But what it has done is it's opened up so many eyes of doubters that didn't believe in Jason Dominguez, that thought the Martian was just a hype. He ain't no hype. He's showing you what he has out there, bro.
No doubt. Even for us. So me and Dane did a lot of work this offseason and talking to basically we sent the same email to almost every scout that we have access to. Advanced scouts, a lot of different people that really in the know of baseball. And I'll be honest, Dane will say it right here. A lot of people had doubts about Jason Dominguez. A lot of people said, look, there was a lot of times when he got called up to AA, he didn't look great. He had that postseason where he really went off, and it kind of turned his whole season around. He was very average, a lot of people said. Didn't look great in the outfield. Base running errors. There was a lot of cons in that regard to the fact that we dropped him lower in our rankings and put Spencer Jones above him because we heard so much great things about Spencer Jones compared to him.
Yeah, that's a fact.
But what he did was, and even Aaron Boone, to his credit, Boone said, hey, look, this looks like a different player than a year ago. He said it. He came flat. I was like, this guy looks even better than we expected from just a year of development. And again, is spring a mirage sometimes? Yeah, it could be. But let me tell you what, and this is what I always say when I look at players in spring training. Forget the stats. Forget that he hit 4 homers. Forget that he batted 400 or whatever it was. Forget all that stuff, right? Forget about it. Keep it out the way. Who cares? The fact of the matter is, Jason Dominguez had you could argue, he had the best at-bats of any offensive player on the team.
Absolutely.
Bro, that means something to me.
He didn't look overmatched. He didn't look like he didn't belong. He looked like he belonged. And this is one thing that a lot of Yankee content creators or people who cover the Yankees that, and I'm guilty of it as well. When talking about Jason Dominguez, right, before spring training, what a lot of people didn't include in the conversation is a lot of people said, oh, well, if we're going to trade Dominguez, trade him for Soto. Soto was up at the same age or whatever. When having a conversation about Dominguez and Soto, what people are forgetting to include in that conversation was Juan Soto. He didn't have a whole year taken away from him at 18 years old because of COVID. Jason Dominguez had a whole year taken away from him when it comes to his development at a crucial age, 18 years old. He missed an entire season because of for his development because of COVID. And I understand a lot of prospects lost an entire. Michael Harris with the Braves lost an entire season. I get that. I understand that. But it wasn't at 18 years old when all this pressure was put on this young kid to be the next Mickey Mantle, to be the next Mike Trout, to be the next Juan Soto. All of this was put on him at 18 years old before he even played one minor league game. And the fact that he had a whole year taken away from him at 18 before he even played in the minors, that's a big part of the conversation that people aren't having when it comes to Dominguez.
And here's the other thing. The one thing that Dominguez did during that time, he got his body back to being athletic. Because the one concern, if you don't know what I'm talking about, all you got to do is look up a picture of Jason Dominguez back from like when he was originally drafted and he first started getting hype. He was a tank. He was so solid and big and thick. I remember seeing it saying, this kid's going to end up being a DH or a right fielder probably. He's not going to be able to move around in center field. But the one thing that Dominguez did during that time that Hector's talking about where he missed the year of development, he slimmed down at the Yankees' request. They asked him to slim down and be more athletic. If you saw a lot of his workout videos, it's a lot of things like yoga, stretching, not as much as just heavy weightlifting. He's still doing it, but you can tell he's gotten to a better body where you can see him playing in left field. Maybe not center field, but you can see him playing in left field. And look, at the end of the day, all Jason Dominguez just did, and I'll pull, before I get to the super chat from Ra, thank you so much, Ra. Let me pull up the Dominguez September tweet from Brandon Cuddy. Make no mistake, Jason Dominguez impressed. One veteran Yankees talent evaluator told me that he thought before spring training there was no shot Dominguez could make the majors this year. Now he wouldn't rule out seeing him in September. I wouldn't rule out seeing him in July.
Bro, it's an easy 180s flip when it comes to Jason Dominguez. Like all the narratives that were put out before about Jason Dominguez was, is he ready? He doesn't look engaged, and when it comes to being in the field or at the bat, he doesn't seem like he actually has the passion for it. We saw how a few lazy fly balls in the prospect all-star game that happened that he dropped. He dropped a fly ball in center field. Same thing in spring training, and a lot of people came out, oh, he's not engaged. Every at-bat that he had, every he looked like he took every at-bat, every pitch as serious as the one that was just before it, right? Yeah. Jason Dominguez, that narrative of him being lazy or not engaged, take that and throw that out the window because that's not true when it comes to Jason Dominguez. He actually looked like he belonged. He looked like he belonged more than Aaron Hicks, I'll tell you that.
100%. No doubt about it. And that's the thing for the Yankees. And, let me get the Raw super chat because I don't want to forget that because that means a lot to me. Raw himself means a lot to me. I appreciate this man more than you guys could imagine. Raw said, We popping bottles and super chats today. Well deserved, my guys. Happy birthday, Pete. Hector, I look forward to chopping it up with you and doing some game season lives. Play the kids or get yanked. I agree with that. And that actually, I'm happy how that ended because that segments right into what we were talking about now.
Mm-hmm.
This is why it's weird. I was going to say, Ra, it's weird, Hector, that we usually don't feel this way or have these conversations entering a season. Typically, it's like, well, at some point, like during the year, there's a guy struggling. Like, well, man, call the guy up from the minors. What are we doing? We're at the point now, and this is why I keep saying Brian Cashman's on the clock. Because the Yankees just don't understand what their fan base wants. They don't get it. They don't get it. And even to the point, I made a video talking about that the Yankees need Peraza and Volpe on the opening day roster, right? And some people thought it was me insulting Gleyber Torres, that he's a bad player. And it's not that at all. And I specifically said that in the video. So I was like, please watch the video again because I'm not insulting the guy. The fact of the matter is, Hector, and tell me if you agree with me on this, I don't see the Yankees saying, hey, Gleyber, here's $125, $140 million. You know, they would have done that already. You know why? They started doing that with guys like Luis Severino. They said, all right, let's lock you up for a few more years. They have not shown the willingness to do that with Gleyber Torres. To the fact he even said they've never approached me because they don't want to because they know what's in the system. Also, to my point, Steinbrenner came out and go, look, we see the future up the middle as Peraza and Volpe. Well, then why is it not happening now? I'm confused. What are we waiting for exactly?
When you look at the World Baseball Classic, the Yankees allowing Gleyber Torres to go and play for Venezuela should let you know that if he gets injured or whatever, they don't, because they already have their backup plan in Peraza and Volpe. Right. They already know the future, right? The Yankees in arbitration, they literally fought to keep $300,000 out of this man's pocket. Literally fighting over 300. You know, the Yankees, if the Yankees were going to pay him 100 to 120 million over the next 6 years after the season, $300,000 is nothing to them. Absolutely nothing to them. It doesn't even come close to even getting to that penalty for the luxury tax, right? So they would have gave him that 300,000 when he asked to get 10 million instead of whatever he's getting paid right now, right? So that should go to show you that the Yankees, when they look at the future of this team, the future doesn't have Gleyber Torres in it. It absolutely doesn't. And
by the way, I'm sure Hector agrees with me on this. That doesn't mean that he's a bad ball player.
No, not at all.
That doesn't mean that a guy said, oh, Pete, he's a good... That is not... The point of that is the future of the New York Yankees and what they've been promising us. That's the point of that. I think everybody here would say, hey, if I could take Gleyber or Carlos Correa, who would I take? Probably Correa. If I could take Machado or this guy or Sager or these guys. Well, the Yankees passed up on all those guys, not because of Gleyber. They did it because of Volpe and Peraza.
Yes.
Not because of Gleyber. So all my point is, if the Yankees are sitting there telling us this is the process that you guys have been waiting for, well, then I agree with that process, but let's start that process now because it only makes sense. Because here's the problem. How do you send Volpe down?
You can't. Like,
you think Yankee fans are going to care when you go, hey, look, he didn't have enough time at AAA? We're going to say, are you out of your mind? I mean, Hector, what is your response when if they did come out with that and go, hey, look, Peraza is the starter, we got to send Volpe down. But what if that's the case? Gleyber's having a good year, Peraza's having a very good year for a rookie, and then DJ LeMahieu's tearing the cover off the ball. What does Volpe do?
For me, and I'm going to just walk it back just a little bit, when it comes to that conversation, when you look at the infield and some of the players that you mentioned, Donaldson, Peraza, Torres, Rizzo at first base, right? DJ LeMahieu being that Swiss Army man or whatever. We know the Yankees are going to keep Peraza, right? So when it comes to Torres, Donaldson, and LeMahieu, the one that's most tradable is Gleyber Torres. That is the most tradable commodity that they have
people don't
out of those three. And Pete, I'm going to ask you this question. As a businessman, you know, been running NyynewsTV. You've been killing it, my man. I got to give you your flowers. Because like I'd like to say, a man doesn't get his flowers until the day that he passes away. So, Pete, I want to give you your flowers for how you've been running this business, NyynewsTV.
I appreciate it.
When it comes to that, right? As a businessman, if you know that you have one solid commodity that you're going to let walk away after the season's over, but you have a chance to recoup and get some more value for some more years down the line, wouldn't you take advantage of that?
100%.
Are you going to let him walk away? Are you going to
100%.
let a commodity just walk away and not recoup anything in return? You're a nut job if you think that.
Well, bro, it's funny because I forgot who it was. It might have been you, Brad. And if it wasn't Brad, my bad. Somebody shouted me out today because on my video the other day, I'm like, you know what I would look to do? Look, if you want to trade Gleyber, and I don't like doing trade stuff, but I was like, Akil Baddoo, who we saw today hit a home run for the Tigers, and maybe a starting pitching prospect from the Tigers for Gleyber Torres. And Akil Baddoo today just hits a home run to right field. I was like, yeah, put me in. But he's 24 years old. He's a lefty, good defending left fielder. He's fast. It's everything this team kind of needs more of. Youth, fun, excitement, speed, athleticism. And again, I just want to throw this out there. I am not personally a big fan of Gleyber Torres. I'm not. But that has no value in me saying the Yankees should trade him. Because Gleyber, I admit, he had a much better year last year. He played much better overall. But I'm basing this off of what the New York Yankees are telling us. Not what I believe. What the New York Yankees' own words are saying. What the owner... Matter of fact, Hector, I got to ask you this question.
What's up, bro? Axe away, brother.
Wouldn't you maybe just want to be traded at this point if your owner is coming out going, well, the future of second and short is not you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I see C-Royd in the chat. He says, just because someone has value doesn't mean you should trade them away. Jesus, LeMayo, that's not what we're saying. What we're saying is that from what the Yankees have showed us, with the track record that the Yankees have, if they were willing to give him an extension after the season, those conversations would have already started. They would have
100%.
definitely already started. They would have never tried to take $300,000 away from him during arbitration. Now, the $2 million that the Yankees were fighting over with Aaron Judge, that's different than $300,000. Totally different. It's a bigger gap or whatever, right? So when you say that don't trade up away the player just because he has value, we're not saying that. We're going to say that. We're saying that if your plan is to let the player walk away at the end of the season because you already got their backup in your system, then trade him and get whatever you can get back. Get an extra lefty reliever for that bullpen so you don't put all this pressure on Wandy. Get an extra starter because Domingo Germán doesn't look like he has it as that long reliever who could fill in that fifth spot in the rotation until our reinforcements come back. Do what you can to try to upgrade this team while you have these young players.
That's right. And here's the other thing, Hector, you got to remember. Let's say if Gleyber Torres has he plays out his contract with the Yankees, he has 2 phenomenal years back-to-back. Let's say he has 2 phenomenal years back-to-back. How many people in here think the Yankees are going to re-sign him? I don't. No way. Gleyber Torres, by the time he's a free agent, I don't want to get this wrong, he's going to be under 30. I know that. I think it'd be 28. I want to say I think it'd be 28 or maybe 29, around that age. Gleyber Torres, if he ever hits 250, 25-plus homers back-to-back years, and stays on the field, he's going to get a contract that the Yankees are not going to go near. It's just that simple. So, yes, unfortunately or fortunately, however you see it, now makes the most sense to trade Gleyber Torres. And Hector is right again what he said. If you want to be a World Series caliber team, trade him for some pieces that you know can help you. If you could get a left fielder for him, get an outfielder. You want to know why? Who knows when Beta's coming back? You really trust Aaron Hicks to be out there every day for you? You really trust Ortega? Not. I mean, these are guys that you're going to say, hey, we're a World Series caliber team, but they're in our outfield? I'm sorry. I don't buy that. I'd rather put somebody out there that has a little bit of youth, a little bit of control. He has those type of things you look for with the new rules in place. Speed, agility, defense. Those are the type of things that I want to look forward to with a guy like that. And to me, and I know I keep saying his name, I don't think the trade's probably going to happen. I like a guy like in that mold of an Akil Baddoo, a McCarthy. Those type of guys maybe you can make a late trade for and bring them in. And that's another guy, Joe, I always forget to say his last name, the lefty from Arizona, Joe Mantiply, whatever his name is. Yeah. But that's another one that could make a lot of sense because he's a very good left-handed relief pitcher. So it just makes sense for the Yankees to go that route, in my opinion.
Yeah, listen, he's 26 right now, right? He'll be a free agent in 2025. If the plan is, and you heard Hal Steinbrenner say it, Peraza and Volpe up the middle. Why does it make sense to carry him not just for this season, but for next year as well? Have we seen Gleyber Torres play another position besides second base where he looks stellar? He was horrible at shortstop, right? The Yankees are scared to put him at third base. They don't want to put him in the outfield, bro.
Nowhere near the left side of the infield, bro.
Exactly. No, he can't handle it.
And let me tell you something too, man. People kind of thought in my video, and look, I agree that I would not do this, but it makes more sense than all this idea of moving everybody else. If you think Anthony Volpe's that good, Mookie bets him.
Bingo.
I ain't saying Mookie bets him. hey, kid, you're kind of blocked right now. We're going to hold on to Gleyber Torres. We feel Peraza is the better shortstop. Got to play left field, buddy. Sorry.
Yeah.
People keep
But
going,
also-
oh, yeah.
also-
I'm just trying to make more sense of a stupid situation that we shouldn't even be talking about.
Shout out
It
to
should be
my
simple.
guy Dane in the chat. Dane, salute to you. I appreciate all the work that you do covering these prospects and stuff. But I'm pull back just a second because I want to ask you, when you look at the performance of Volpe and Dominguez this spring training, right? Volpe obviously is still up there. Dominguez hit 450. Can you recollect the last time a Yankees prospect had the type of spring training that Dominguez and Volpe is having? Did Gleyber Torres have that type of spring training before he was called up?
No,
Did Clint, aka Jackson Frazier, have any type of spring training like this, dominating in spring training? Miguel Andujar and even Aaron Judge didn't dominate in spring training. So what you're seeing out of Volpe and Dominguez is not something that you should just take lightly. Yes, it's spring training. You can say it doesn't matter. Maybe some minor league pitches there, but you got to go by the at-bats. They're not extending the strike zone. They're not looking foolish during their at-bats. They're not looking like they're pressing. Even though Jason Dominguez had 4 home runs in spring training, he didn't go up there trying to golf a home run every at-bat. You seen counts. He got 3-1, 3-2, extending the at-bat, going 6, 7, 8 pitches deep on an opposing pitcher. That's not a kid that's up there that's head hunting, just looking for the first fastball he see. No, that's a kid that understands the game plan, that is going through a scouting report, and is actually showing people that he's not just one-dimensional.
That's right. And speaking of, those guys that really lit it up, of course, Anthony Volpe is the big conversation as I got on the screen right now. Aaron Boone says that Anthony Volpe is very much in the running of making his club. And the only thing really in his way is what is the position, 1, and 2, who comes off the 40-man. That's the only thing that is in the way of Anthony Volpe making the New York Yankees. And look, guys, you guys already know the deal. I speak with Anthony's father often. We actually recently just talked. Anthony Volpe has truly done everything you can do, to the point that I'm going to throw this other one on the screen here, to the point that you even got Yankee players coming out in private. One of them not so private. Aaron Judge flat out came out and said, look, I don't care what league these guys played in. He deserves to be here. He fits in. He's what this club needs. And Aaron Judge may be at the point now where he's like, hey, look, my contract is locked in. I'm the captain. I'm speaking up if I have to.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that he's doing that. I think you got guys like probably Anthony Rizzo speaking up. You got Rizzo speaking up. These guys know, look, as much as you hear me and Hector talk about it, as much as you hear every other Yankee creator talk about it, you guys got to believe, too, that those players kind of understand even better what they really need.
Yes.
They see the Astros beat them and go, man, if we had that, that's the stuff that this team, we know.
Listen,
that.
You got Willie Randolph coming out, showing how much he's in love with Anthony Volpe. You got Lou Piniella saying that this kid gets it. When Anthony Volpe was introduced to Lou Piniella, he took his hat off, held it over his hat, and shook him with his head. Respect. He understands what it is to be a Yankee. Now, people want to say, oh, that's corny, respecting the tradition, whatever. I think tradition is something that you should respect, especially the Yankee tradition. So if you have Willie Randolph never said anything about that about Gleyber Torres. Willie Randolph never went out of his way to talk about Clint Frazier like that. So when you look at the prospects that we had in our system, the hype around our prospects were self-manufactured. Right, our team used to hype up our prospects. There was a joke, the Yankeeography is starting for this prospect for the Yankee system or whatever, because we will hype up our prospects. There's no need to hype them up because the hype is real with Volpe and Dominguez.
Man, Volpe, Dominguez, Peraza, all these guys just make so much sense, man. I was even just looking at how they had it today. They had it that Volpe was at shortstop, Peraza was at second base. And guys, I'll tell you what right now. You guys have already heard me. You've heard the Guillen say it on this channel. Ozzie Guillen is close with Peraza's father. He would say it back in Venezuela years ago when he was a teenager. He was the best infielder on the field with adults. He was the best. He's that good of a shortstop. Now, if the Yankees came out and eventually, let's just say opening day, they declare that Volpe's the starting shortstop and then Peraza's going to be at second base. It's not the situation that I would do, but I wouldn't be upset. I wouldn't be mad. My whole thing is simply this, and I beg that the Yankees don't do this. And I'm so worried they're going to, and I just hope they don't. I really hope that they recognize the fan base, and I really hope they understand this is what we've been looking to do for a while. Let's just do it now. Why wait? And credit again to Joel Sherman for writing an article and putting out the infield that I've been begging the Yankees to have for a minute now. And he said it flat out. If the Yankees want to win, this is the way to go. He said it flat out. There is no other option. This is it. This is the best team you could put out. DJ at third, Peraza at short, Volpe at second, Rizzo at first base. And he said it too. You got to trade Glaber. You know, and I just hope, Hector, that they don't pick and choose between these kids. It's not right to Peraza. Yeah. It's not right to Volpe. Peraza's clock also has already started. It's not right to either one of these guys, man. Let them both be on this team and ride with these kids and let it work. Here's another thing that I brought up in my video. Maybe some people would disagree. Hector, you might disagree. Yankee fans are much more willing to see these kids struggle and stick with them than they would with an Aaron Hicks or Josh Donaldson.
Oh, or IKF, though. I can't hit into
or
that
IKF.
also, bro.
Come
I can't
on,
fit.
Man.
Come on. When it comes, and shout out to Joe Sermon again, you know, that same article that you're talking about, he also mentioned that when it comes to the Yankees shortstop job, everybody knows who's going to be the shortstop except for IKF, right?
Yeah,
Joe Sermon says that IKF is not going to be the shortstop for the Yankees, and everybody in Yankee camp knows that except for IKF, right? So when it comes down to it, the Volpe Peraza thing, I see what you're saying. I feel that, and knock on wood, but I feel that injury to Carlos Rodon and the backlash or the anger, the frustration the Yankee fans they showed on social media, I think it made the front office more willing to have Volpe start the season with the team. Just because you don't want to start the season with the fan base already upset because you sent Dominguez and Volpe down and then you got Rodon injured, right? Correct. If we could go into the season at least with Volpe on our roster, I think most fans would be happy and be like, all right, we don't have to focus all of our frustration in the Rodon injury. We can enjoy Volpe while we wait for Rodon to come back.
Yeah. I don't think, I'll be honest with you, man. I'll be happy if either one of them make the team, but it'll be bittersweet to me. It'll be bittersweet to me because, and I'm going to stick up for him here. I feel like Peraza kind of gets left out way too much. Peraza kind of gets, and you know, Andy Martino kind of went a different route than I would have. He kind of went to the route because he doesn't speak English.
He gets the Bernie Williams treatment when it comes to the core four.
Correct. And Andy Martino said that he believes that is more because he doesn't speak English, so he's not doing interviews and fans don't get to see him as much. I don't know. I just feel like there's almost like a lack of respect there when it comes to it. Because if you talk to scouts, hell, if you want to go on MLB.com and look at their top 30 and read Dominguez, Peraza, and Volpe's scouting report, he has the biggest glaring positives in that report of them basically coming out and going, look, this kid just gets overlooked because of Volpe, but he's really friggin' good. And I just hope, I tell you, I'll say it right now. You guys have never saw me as a fanboy. Never saw me as a fanboy. They put both of those guys on that team. They make this move of trading Glaber, which I hate to say it. I don't think they do. I don't think Cashman has the cojones to do it. I would be all in for the New York Yankees, and I swear to you guys, I would be a friggin' fanboy jumping up and down, rooting these guys on because it is what makes sense. Finally, it's what makes sense, and I hope they do it. But who knows?
If the Yankees went with Melky Cabrera in 2005 for a few games, they can start the season with Anthony Volpe. Melky Cabrera was in Double-A, was in Single-A, brought up to Double-A before they brought him to the Major League roster because we needed a center fielder that bad. So when it comes to Volpe, he needs to dominate Triple-A before we bring him up. Let's hogwash. Put that to this. We don't. He showed us enough in spring training that even if you was to send him down to the minors, I think we're both confident to say that, yeah, we can send him down to the minors, but he's going to kill it for a whole month in the minor leagues. Why even wait that long? Right. And this shows it right here. Go ahead, read it.
Yeah, the Yankees need to remember if Volpe wins Rookie of the Year, they get draft picks, extra year of control. Pretty sure if he finishes top 3, he also gets some benefits. This from Yankees guy 893, I believe that is. A huge incentive to have him start the year in the Bronx. Yeah, and again, look, you know what this comes down to? Calling the Yankees bluff, man. That's all it comes down to.
Yeah.
That's all it comes
Plain
down
chicken.
to. Is
Plain chicken.
Yeah, it calls their bluff. Hey, look, Brian, we've heard you talk about this process. We've heard all the guys we've passed up on because of Volpe, right? And Peraza. We heard all that. We hear, guys, look no further than the owner of the club saying that is the future of the middle infield, short and second. If I'm Gleyber Torres, I am coming to that office saying, trade me.
Right now.
Trade me. Why? I'm not part of your future, and that is okay. But I like to go to somewhere that maybe I am part of their future. Is that okay? My man is coming out telling a player who had a good year, you're not part of our future.
Yeah, it's not like he had a horrible season. Yeah, it wasn't what us Yankee fans wanted. We expected more out of Gleyber Torres, but he still cracked 20 home runs. If you ask any
4 WAR, I mean, it wasn't bad.
You ask almost any other major league team that would they want a second baseman at 26 years old that could crack 20 home runs, that cracked 30 home runs in the past? Absolutely, they would take it, right? And L.I. Yankee King, my man, he's trying to trade DJ.
I see the super. You want to read that one?
Let me read it. He said, why not trade DJ, get $15 million off the books, put Peraza at third base, Volpe at shortstop, Torres, and have more upside than a declining 35-year-old Yankee worried about payroll salary, dump DJ to the Cubs, get 15. You know why, L.I.? You know why? The same way how you look at DJ LeMahieu as an aging 35-year-old, right, as someone that just has $15 million on the book and you want to get rid of him, every other major league team is looking at him the same way. If you had to choose, if you were a different major league organization and you had to choose to either Gleyber Torres or DJ LeMahieu, Torres is cheaper. He has another arbitration year, or DJ LeMahieu. They're going to take Gleyber Torres. Gleyber has more value than DJ at the moment, right now.
I'm laughing at Frankie Baseball's comment. L.I., this is why you shouldn't drink when you're pregnant.
But shout out my guy L.I. because even though sometimes these trades make me scratch my head, the fact that he tries to get as much information and put it out there. I appreciate you, L.I., for that.
Yeah,
you always make me laugh at the end of the day.
Facts. And another thing, and look, let me tell you something. L.I. makes people talk. I don't care. Anybody want to say whatever they want.
Facts.
L.I. Yankee King makes people talk. It's that simple. But let me say one thing, too, about DJ LeMahieu that I think L.I. is forgetting about and maybe some people do forget about. Aaron Judge was on record recently being like, remember he said, I want to be more like DJ LeMahieu.
Yes.
I want to be one of those type of complete players that can hit for average power and do all that stuff. DJ LeMahieu is looked upon in that clubhouse. It hurt the Yankees very bad when LeMahieu was hurt and he couldn't get it going. But when he was healthy, he was up to 290-something in his batting. I remember. I called every damn game. I remember saying it. God, guys, remember last week the guy was hitting 281. Now he's hitting 288. Oh, look at this, 296. And then he hurt the foot again. He's bad. And look, if you want to say, it's like Hector said, other clubs know he's been injured too. But if DJ LeMahieu is healthy, you got a really good base player. And look, all we got the base off right now is spring, and he's hitting like 364.
Yes.
So, I mean, the guy is smacking the ball in spring training.
If you want to see proof that DJ LeMahieu, I don't want to say he's going to turn back to what DJ LeMahieu was when he won a batting title or the year before in 2019. But if you want to look at anything from DJ LeMahieu this spring training and point it and say that's a positive, the fact that he is turning on that inside fastball and pulling it to left field, not just trying to get the soft hit to right field, he is pulling that inside fastball for a double.
Yes,
he with authority as well.
Yep. And even the other day, it was a beautiful thing to see. I think LeMahieu singled, Judge doubled, and he scored.
Bing.
And I'm like, hey, look at that. That is what the Yankees need. That is something that, if you want to talk about excuses and this and that, that is something they missed. It is something. It's something they missed all year. Forget the postseason. All year they missed having that solid top of the order. And look, that's another thing too of why I think it's so valuable to have Anthony Volpe and Peraza. Because these are guys that could bat higher in order. Even if people see Peraza as maybe lower in the order early on, most everybody agrees that Volpe is going to be a top of the order 1 or 2 type guy immediately out the gate. And that is, again, what the Yankees need. You want to know why it's what the Yankees need? Because it is what the Houston Astros have. And people don't like when I say it, but I'm going to keep saying it because I don't care if it bothers Yankee fans. I don't care if it makes Astros fans happy. It's at the fact of the matter of the day, the Houston Astros have a Very well structured lineup, and it makes them win. The Yankees should have the same thing. It's not that hard.
Pete, if I may ask a question, I just want to ask one question for the class.
Oh, please, sir.
When Carlos Correa walked away from the Houston Astros, did they wait a whole month or 2 months to bring up his replacement?
No.
Okay.
When they got
to the World Series and eventually won the World Series, did they wait before they fired their GM?
No.
Thank you.
Yep. To the point that Carlos Correa called the dude and was like, "Hey, man, take it over. You can do it. It's all yours." And the Astros told him, "You got no shit. You're not going to be sent down. So play baseball."
Yep.
How hard is it for the Yankees? And I've talked about this so much. I'm not going to talk about it again. I'm not, because we could go all day just repeating the same stuff until it happens and we figure out what's going on. But just have that right infield, man. Make room for these guys that you're promising us. Make room for the guys that the owner is basically saying is the future of the club. It only makes sense. And just do it now. Just do it now.
Bingo.
Make it make sense. As Hector also said, come on now, man. It's very, very easy to trade Gleyber Torres. Doesn't mean we dislike him. Doesn't mean we think he's a bad player. He's so tradable. And let me tell you something, too. He could also improve your club in other areas. I don't know how much Brian Cashman could watch Aaron Hicks in the outfield, but like, this guy's not a major league player no more. But dropped another ball today, by the way. But, it is what it is.
Jesus Christ. When it comes to the human Ninja Turtle, that's what I like to refer to Aaron Hicks as.
Yes.
But when it comes to Aaron Hicks, my man, just retire. This is I understand human beings at the end of the day. I get that. You may have a family. I understand that. But if I am critiquing you when it comes to you doing your job, what you're being paid for, you can't do it anymore. And if you are out there doing it, you're half-assing it. You're doing that at 20% capacity. If myself, when I worked as an EMT, right, if I didn't revive 80% of my patients, or I wasn't able to help 80% and only 20% of them was able to make it to the hospital, you think I would still have a damn job? Absolutely not.
Of course not. Yep.
Absolutely not. If I wasn't able to do my job to my full capacity, I would have been letting go.
Yep. And I'm gonna oh man, I'm getting old, man. I just had a thought in my head and it went away. I'm getting old. That's what it is. That's that they always say, nobody ever said this, by the way, but they always say that 33 to 34 is a big jump. It's a big jump.
I'm fighting it. I turned 34 in September and I'm fighting it right now, right? So Pete got up there before me. I'm trying to fight it, bro. I'm trying to fight off those SSI years, right?
No, but yeah, for real, facts. But even too, like when it comes to Hicks, I'm gonna bring up something in regard to looking out for the guy. Believe it or not, I'm gonna look out for Aaron Hicks here. The Yankees and Brian Cashman are putting him into a very bad spot mentally. Very bad spot mentally, man. If anybody thinks right now that he is not going to get booed out that stadium on March 30th if he pops up in his first at-bat. God forbid he misses a fly ball. God forbid. First of all, on top of that, nobody deserves to play baseball that way. And again, I'm not discrediting anything that Aaron Hicks has done wrong. He's been a bad player for the Yankees. He's given up on this team. We know all that. But that's for the GM to recognize and go, we got to get him out of here, man. To the point that Aaron Boone said, I took him out the game because the fans, it was bad for his mental aspect.
I was there at that game.
What were they saying? I can't imagine what the fans were saying. You don't look at it. Look at it. When he does that, forget it. You don't even want to know.
I was on the second level. I was on the second level right next to the left field or whatever. I wasn't in the front row. I was towards the back by the concourse getting a drink or whatever. But the amount of booze, the profanity, right? The profanity, bro. Like it's too many TOS violation, terms of services violation when it comes to YouTube, right? We would get shut down immediately. But the people throwing stuff at him during the middle of that. Once he was taken out, it didn't stop because they went into commercial break. Like during the middle of the innings, it kept on and people were just booing and just booing and just booing Aaron. Yeah. And that's the same day that Derek Jeter was at the stadium. And I'm going to keep on saying this. That day just proved to me that Aaron Hicks has checked out mentally when it comes to being a baseball player. Pete, the first time I had you on the show, I told you about it. I showed up to that game, right? I showed up to that game to get that Derek Jeter giveaway, for the commemorative for the Hall of Fame packs. Yeah. I showed up at 2:00 to get that. So I showed up at the stadium at 2:00, a bunch of Yankee fans. If that day was supposed to be a ceremony for Derek Jeter, everything got moved up by an hour. Batting practice, outfield, like all your training that you were doing before, preparation, all got moved up for an hour. This man showed up to Yankee Stadium for that game at 4 p.m. At 4 p.m. We were online by gate 4, and people pointing out that Aaron Hicks just hopped out of his Uber.
Wow.
Hopped out of his Uber at 4 p.m.
And this goes back to, again, why?
What preparation is he going to do at 4 p.m. when the ceremony for Derek Jeter starts at 6?
And it's a Yankee Legacy Day. It's a Yankee Legacy Day. It's a day that honors the uniform that you're wearing. And I know, look, and Hector, I'm so happy you brought this up earlier, man. And you brought up tradition. Tradition means so. Whether you like the whole facial hair, whatever, not even talking about that. I'm just talking about the pride of the Yankees. And this is why you guys hear me in my rants. I say this a lot during these rants.
I'm laughing at Frankie Baseball. He's a fool.
Frankie's nuts, man. What'd he say?
He said Aaron Hicks can't afford a limo. No, he can't afford a limo.
I bring this conversation up a lot in rants because it gotta mean something to people. There gotta be a sense of pride when you play for the Yankees. There just has to be. That's why I get mad at the excuses. The Yankees don't make excuses. Come out and say, we lost. Mm-hmm. We lost. We got to be better. That's simple. It's not hard to do. So, man, oh, man, I just wish the Yankees really just get it together. This guy is being set up. And I'll be honest, I don't think Aaron Boone is mentally strong enough to fight back against the fans and prove himself. I think once it becomes drowning, he's done. Yeah. He's done. It's going to get worse than last year.
Yeah. Hicks reminds me, and this is what Aaron Boone needs to do. Treat Aaron Hicks like Hans Gruber. Just let him go. And just let him fall off the building. Just let him fall off the side of the building. Just let him go. Have him wave to you as he's falling, bro. Just cut ties with this guy. If you guys can, hit the like button for the boys. Me and myself, Pete Simonetti, filling in for my man, Jigga Man Porter. If you guys are wondering,
shout out to Jigga Man.
Jigga Man, he's in Nashville, Tennessee right now, covering the Knights of Dejan brackets that they have going on over there. So he's over in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm in Florida. We're all global right now, baby.
Facts. We got one more super chat, too, from Li. He says, and if you trade Torres, DJ is starting second baseman, and Donaldson is starting at third base because Cashman's ego won't let him sit Donaldson. Well, we don't know, Li. I guess we're gonna find out pretty soon what happens.
Definitely. We'll see what happens with Josh. It's not like Josh Donaldson is tearing the cover off the ball in spring training as well.
Facts.
Exactly. Yeah, it's been less pop-up bat flips than they were before, So if you want to point at anything good, that's a little bit good.
Facts. And look, at the end of the day, the guy could play third base. I mean, we know he's pretty good defensively. Do I say he should be there?
Yeah.
Come on.
And that's the thing when it comes to Josh Donaldson. Defensively, we know that he can fill his position. That's not what we're upset about with Josh Donaldson. We're upset because we were sold a bag of goods that this guy was going to come in and make our offense better. And he absolutely did not do that. He actually had a worse season than Gio Urshela when it comes offensively.
Well, that's why I love the great. At this point now, it should be one of the greatest quotes of all time. Brian Cashman sound clip. Well, I mean, we like Gio, but let's be honest, he's not Josh Donaldson. I don't know about that now.
Did you see Gio? You seen Gio in the World Baseball Classic? The plays that he's making at third base, bro.
Unbelievable, yeah.
Brooks Robinson-esque, like that man can fill his position, bro.
He's an awesome ball player. And on top of that, too, he plays with a swag that you got to appreciate, and he plays the game hard. I mean, I don't think I could remember a time with Gio on the Yankees where I was like, nah, man, this guy ain't cutting it, or he's not, he ain't playing, he doesn't play the game right.
No.
Never had a conversation like that when it came to Gio. Gio always plays the game hard. He goes for it. Very, very good ball player. So
yeah. Also, he was very good for the clubhouse. Very good for the clubhouse.
Damn right.
A lot of work off the field as well when it comes to community service, being a big voice in the Bronx for the Colombian community that lives in the Bronx. Even though it's a small Colombian community to be in the Bronx, he was doing so much work when it comes to hands-on work with that community. And it's sad that the Yankees let him go for a guy in Josh Donaldson who honestly looks like he's a dick. I'm going to be honest.
Facts.
Josh Donaldson, he looks like he's just a dick to be around. Like, he doesn't look like somebody you want to go have a beer with or hang out with at the bar.
No, not much. Not much at all. But man, oh man, this has been an awesome show.
Definitely.
This might be one of my favorite shows I've done all year, to be honest with you.
Nah,
This
you
was
just
awesome.
saying that. You just saying that because I'm here and it's your birthday, bro.
Maybe. That might be it. That might be it. I'm feeling happy as. Can you do this for me? You know how you say the boys? I
Yeah.
need you to say this. It's because you're the birthday boy.
Oh, it's because you're the birthday, the boy.
Yes. Yes,
Nah,
that is
Pete,
my birthday gift from Hector right there, folks.
Nah, I appreciate you jumping on with me this Friday, filling in for Jigga Man. Also,
course.
appreciate you for even giving us this opportunity on the channel.
Nah, you
April
guys,
1st
you the
is
goat,
right
man. You
there.
the goat. You the
April
goat.
2nd, you and I will be calling the game season live. I can't wait for that,
man,
guys.
I can't wait. By the way, guys, real quick to shout that event out. Manscaped hooked your boy up again. So as you guys already know, I closed the deal with Manscaped. Okay, they're gonna come back. They're coming back in a big way this year. Okay, so Manscaped has a friggin' phenomenal. Anybody that got a beard, face beard. Okay, don't talk about Manscaped stuff here. You got face beard going on. They got an awesome new package. I think it's like $200, and I'm giving one of those away at that event. It's a beard trimmer, and the thing that's so cool about this is it has a little like a knob that you turn for the inches you want.
Okay.
And you just go. You don't gotta change nothing. You just turn it and go. It comes with brushes in it. It comes with beard balm, beard oil, beard conditioner, everything. It's a phenomenal package. We got that we're giving away. Giving away some of the nose hairs trimmers. We're giving a lot of stuff away that day. NYY News TV, man. We do it all for you guys. Truly, every decision we make is based off of this fan base. Shout out to Hector, Jigga Man for setting up Gramercy on April 2nd. Also, some things you guys are doing with KOD Media at our event on the 1st. So a lot of awesome things. Guys, tickets are still available.
There's going to be giveaways during the game. We got the Knights of Dejan mobile app that is killing it right now. Last week, because we started our March Madness brackets, right, on the KOD app, the Knights of Dejan app. Last week, it was the 3rd highest app that was used in the country.
That is awesome. That is
3rd
awesome.
highest
I saw
app
something about like
in the country.
It also hit like a certain amount of downloads, didn't it? In the first like a very big amount. So yeah, guys. I mean, look, it's an awesome partnership that we have here at NYY News TV and KOD Media. But you know, this is again just another event. I know the very first one I told you guys, you know, be happy that you're here. It's only gonna get bigger. I don't think I lied about that. I think it's getting bigger every day, you know? So NYY News TV is doing great things. Real talk for the real fan is simply what it is. It is for you guys. It is your base to love, your base to enjoy. And I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I'm excited to meet you, Hector. I'm excited to come hang out with you. I'm very excited about that. So many people showing up. By the way, I think we have like 18 tickets left now. So you still have a little bit available. Had 2 more yesterday that went in.
Gramercy is free. Gramercy Ale House is free. The watch along with Pete and myself is free. Make sure you guys come. The drinks, they're going to have Yankee themed drinks. They're going to have some food also. The wings there are amazing. The person who owns the bar, Gramercy Ale, is a legit Iron Chef. So the food is not half trash. It's not going to be chicken tendies from your school lunch. Don't worry about that.
I can't wait. I cannot wait, man. I always, you know what's funny? I'm such a food guy, right? That like every time I'm like, guys, there's a chef here. You know what I mean? I'm like, he's a chef.
He's an actual Iron Chef, bro.
Yeah, I'm like, this dude is a legitimate chef, so you're getting legit food. Like, if you don't show up to this, I'm like, you better be working or something, because this is like I'm walking down the street. I got to get off the train and walk, and I'm there. Like, and Pete and Hector's going to be there calling the game, and you guys can still chat with us. Trust me, man, it's all fun. By the way, too, the cool thing is it'll be right here on YouTube. So if you're so far out of the state, if you can't make it, if you're traveling, you're international, you can still watch us call that game live at that bar that day. Probably having some wings all over our face. Who knows?
Oh, definitely.
I might be passed out at a couple of times. Who knows what's going to happen, but we're ready for it. Smash that like button, too.
2023 is going to be a big year, not only for you, Pete, but for us. There's some stuff that is down the pipeline we can't speak on because we got NDA agreements that we had to sign off on. But get ready, because 2023 for the Morning Brew Sports for NYY News TV is going to be epic. Don't miss out of everything that's coming. So make sure you hit that like button for the boys, right? And of course, for the birthday boy.
Oh, I love it, man. Well, Hector, you know how to take us out, man.
Yeah, like always, I got a different studio, so I got to try this different.
All right, let's see how we do this now. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, you have tuned in to another Friday, March 17th edition of Get Yanked. I am your guy, Hector, aka host of the Yankees Morning Brew. And this is my man, Pete Seminetti. And if you ain't down with us, we got 2 words for you.
Get yanked!
Yeah, baby. Deuces.
Adios!